So today I wanted to do a video basically challenging myself because I'm taking a trip in a couple days, and I packed all of the makeup that I think I'm going to need and my essentials in this very small bag. I know it looks like a mess now. I don't want everything to fall out, but it's just because I filmed the tutorial of my look today using only the products that are in this makeup bag, and I do this ahead of time sometimes just so I can see if what I packed that I feel like I'm going to need, I'm actually going to use, and I'm happy with the results. So I'm going to do a video showing you guys what I take with me, typical things that I take with me, so that'll be in a separate video. This look is going to be kind of like a neutral look using the Urban Decay Naked palette. It's got some matte brown in the crease, some golds. I do mix a lot of the shades together in this video to create some of the colors, but it has some browns, golds, very natural bronzer and blush, and then a nice pop of a bright pink lip. So if you want to see how to do this very easy everyday kind of get ready with me type of video, if you want to see how I did this look, then keep watching.
So I'm going to start off with my BB cream from Garnier. I use the shade Light Medium, and it's the one for combo to oily skin. Taking that and applying little dots all over my face. Don't I look pretty? And that's basically how I apply it, first with my fingers, and then I go in with my Sigma F84 angled top kabuki brush, and I blend that into my skin like so. Then I take my Laura Mercier concealer for my acne scars, and I have this really nasty blemish, and I use a Secret Camouflage brush to apply it. And it's a yellow base, so it helps cover any redness, and it also dries to a powder finish. And I use that just on my spots and acne, pimples, or anything that I have at the moment. I use my Tarte powder, which is the setting powder from the Amazonian Clay line, to set my face concealers. And just kind of setting that so it doesn't move throughout the day. Then I'm going to be taking my Revlon Brow Fantasy in Brunette. I'm using the Tinted Brow Gel as my brow product of the day, and I'm using that, just quickly running that through my brows just to define them a little bit. Next, I'm using my Maybelline Age Rewind Dark Circle Concealer in Light, and my camera completely didn't focus on that, but I use the shade Light, and I run that underneath my under eye area, and I use the sponge tip applicator, and I also mix it with the Bare Minerals Well Rested Face and Under Eye Brightener, and I apply that with my fingers in the under eye area, and then I take my Sigma F86 tapered kabuki brush, which is the one with the pointed tip, to blend that into my under eye area. And then next I use my Bare Minerals Well Rested under eye powder to set my concealer, and it's a really great powder to keep my concealer from creasing throughout the day. And I just apply that with a Sigma F35 brush. So taking a MAC 239 flat shader brush, and I'm taking the color Virgin from the Naked palette, and I'm running that underneath my brow bone as my brow highlight. And I'm also going to be taking that in the inner corner of the eye, and also slightly bringing it onto my upper lid part, and blending those colors together. And then I'm going to be taking a kind of fluffy crease brush from Sigma as well, with the Naked and Buck eyeshadow colors, and I'm applying that into my crease just to kind of add some depth and definition to that area. And I'm just going to be working that color and blending so it doesn't have any harsh lines or edges or anything like that. So just blend that together in your creased area like so. So just blending again. And then I'm going to take the same two colors, Naked and Buck, and I'm taking that in a small shader brush on the lower lashes, smudging that into the lash line as well, just to add some definition there, making sure that they also meet on the outer corner of the eye. Like so. And then I'm taking Half Baked and Toasted, and I'm mixing those two colors together to apply it onto my lid, and it adds a nice touch of gold. So I just apply that with a Real Techniques eyeshadow brush. I'm not really sure the name of the brush, and whatever's left of it on the brush, I take it onto the lower lash line as well. Then with a flat eyeliner brush, I'm going to be taking Dark Horse and Hustle, which are two of the darker shades in the palette, and I'm going to be using that as my liner. So just kind of stamp that at the base of the lashes, and you can use this wet if you want it more dramatic and more intense. And I'm just running that from the inner corner all the way to the outer corner of the eye. I'm just doing a very simple thin line, nothing too fancy. Then taking the same colors and running that on my lower lash line as well. And then I use my L'Oreal using my Urban Decay Zero pencil. That's what I use to tightline my waterline. And then now I'm using the L'Oreal Shocking Extensions mascara to apply 2 generous coatings to my upper lashes. And then I also use that on my lower lashes. And this mascara is pretty awesome because it doesn't clump, and I love it. I can use so many layers of it, and it's perfect. So I'm taking that on my lower lash line as well.
Okay, so now all we have to do is apply some bronzer, blush, you know, the usual things that I apply at the very end of completing my eyes. For my blush, or bronzer, actually I'm going to start with that first. I'm using my NARS Laguna bronzer. I was in love with this product for a very long time, and I kind of neglected the product, and I started using other things like my Benefit Hoola. But because this is in my travel makeup bag, it's a very sleek, thin, compact. The Benefit Hoola is a little bit too boxy, and it takes up a lot of space. So I'm going to use that on a powder brush from Sigma, and I'm just going to apply it where I normally would contour, and then I'm going to pull it down to my jawline. So just, you can do the fishy face if you want, but I don't really need to do all that because I know where to apply my bronzer. And then I also do apply some of it onto my cheek area, just a little bit. Take some and run that on the top of your hairline as well. I think this is a very flattering look to apply up in that area. For blush, I chose this Magic. It's called Magic, and it's from the Tarte Amazonian 12-Hour Clay blush line. It's because I love these blushes, and you guys already know that, but this is also a very small, tiny one from the holiday collection, so it doesn't take up much space in my makeup bag. And it's just a matte peachy pink color, and I'm using my Real Techniques multitask brush to apply this product. If you get too much on the brush, you can just tap it off on a tissue. Smile and apply it to the apples of the cheek, and then blend it up towards your hairline. And also kind of incorporate that into the bronzer as well, so it's very seamless and very blended. These blushes blend very easily with other products and on top of foundations and stuff. They're really awesome. I love these blushes. And I kind of tend to go overboard on blush sometimes just because I love it. It's one of my favorite things to wear. And you might not be able to see it so well because the sun is reflecting off of my neighbor's house. And that always happens every time I film. So for my lips, I want a little bit of pop of color, just because everything is pretty neutral with golds and browns on the lid. I feel like pink really goes with that. So I'm going to start off with my Maybelline Vivids lipstick in Pink Pop. So hopefully my camera will focus. If not, then you've seen this product before. I've talked about it. It's just a nice, beautiful, bright, pinky color. It has a little bit of a purple tint to it, so I'm going to apply a little bit of that. And then blend it with my fingers. And then I want to add a little bit of gloss, just because I prefer glossier lips. And I'm going to use my NYX Mega Shine Lip Gloss. And this is actually a new one for me that I just bought, and it's called Nude Peach. And it's just the perfect pinky peach color. And this one's actually pretty pigmented. So I'm going to just do a little bit of that. Not too much. And there you have it. That is the finished look. I hope that you guys will try this look out. I hope that you enjoyed the tutorial as well. I really like this look because I challenged myself to use what I'm taking on my trip. Even though my trip is not for another 2 days, I kind of given myself time to see if this is going to really work, and I'm happy with the results. I love the way the eyes came out. The blush and bronzer look very natural, but there's a nice pop of color on the lips that brings a little something extra to this look. So I hope you guys will try it out. And don't be afraid to pack very light for your trips, and just take what you need. So thanks again for joining me for this look, and I'll see you guys in my next one. Bye guys.